And I'm like, I'll go to every tree. Look at how beautiful this tree is. Look at how beautiful this tree is. Look at how beautiful this tree is. It just fucking doesn't make sense, isn't it? All you need to show is it. The sad part is there are a lot of companies who are looking for this kind of a talent, and there are people who are not in that way. Because everyone has a templated portfolio, and you have 1,000 applications, 1,000 templated portfolios, 1,000 rejections. Well, that's a very, very important topic. I think this needs to be a vlog. Charan, start recording, man.
ఆల్రెడీ చేస్తున్నా ఇవన్నీ తెలుసు నాకు, అందుకే చేస్తున్నా.
Okay. So, see, let me hold this, wait. So, bro, whatever you were asking, just ask the same, bro. Just ask the same.
I mean, I don't know how to put it, like I'm pretty confused, bro. I'm stuck like with my portfolio.
Okay.
I've applied to a company. I exactly don't know what the reason is, but I felt that my portfolio is, not kind of impressing, I would say.
Okay.
And I don't know what to do. Like,
bro, you remember you told me why is that you think you got rejected? Like, what do you think would have worked?
Probably like I did some research, and research part is kind of missing in my portfolio. I majorly focused on, presenting the problem statement and explaining the solution of that sort. Like,
correct.
My idea was to show that like I am good into product thinking, see correct. This use cases and all that stuff.
Which you were, because I remember you kept a lot of effort but doing the project.
I think like not having research in the portfolio project might be a reason to get rejected.
But tell me one thing. First, tell me one thing. You worked with an actual client, correct?
Yeah.
Right? He took the delivery. He was happy with the delivery, right?
Yeah, he's pretty happy.
He loved it. He could go and talk to investors with it. All this happened, right?
Yeah.
And tell me one thing. When you proposed research, what was the reply he gave? So, tell me, because it's very common. Because a lot of people have this misconception. They think that, hey, you know what? Clients are not supporting me to do research. And same thing, and you are like, hey, you know what, I actually did a proper client work. They were very happy. I created very good impact. And what is happening is, ultimately because research and all is not asked by the client, I didn't do it. Therefore, it's not a part of my portfolio, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And therefore, because of which companies are rejecting. That's what I'm literally saying.
I even proposed research to him, like correct, just as you said. But most of the clients, like the people who I am worked with, they think that research is expensive. They have to pay me more to conduct research.
I'll tell you.
And it's time taking.
Yes.
And
yes. Did you get an indication that all that is great, bro? I understand research is all good, but we don't have that much time.
Yeah.
We need to launch it as fast as possible, right? This is what you heard?
Yeah. Most of the times clients think in only investors' perspective. Like they want to show, I have this features in my product. It's amazing. We can do wonders with this product and we can earn millions. Like this is the most common mindset.
Correct. See, this is where we need to understand one thing, bro. Firstly, we need to deal with this misconception that because you got rejected, you are basically going into a backstory of thinking that, hey, you know what? Since I got rejected, I did not get an opportunity to do something which is required. Okay, basis that my portfolio is not even ready for going and applying to another company and stuff like. Okay, first of all, I have to deal with this misconception. Why? Because you need to understand one thing. What you've done is real work. It has actually created an impact. Okay, since yours is real work and you delivered real impact, you have a great portfolio. First, you need to accept that. Okay, you went to a company. They did a screen reject. Was it a screen reject?
Yeah, it's a screen.
It's a screen reject. Now that means you're just assuming that this is not what is there. On basis, what did you come to this assumption that probably they are looking for this research?
I mean, like I have applied to some companies on LinkedIn and like I got rejected.
You saw their JD, right?
Yeah.
I exactly know. So dude, first of all, JDs, you just literally have to throw the JD into the dust. I tell you, most companies, the way they write their JDs is literally they go and take a template. Okay, they find a template. They'll have to be technically right, because nobody should come back and come to them and say, hey bro, you did not keep this in the JD, therefore I don't have. Instead of that, they'll be safe. They'll have 300 to 400 different aspects sitting in their JD. Now that doesn't mean that, oh, you will go, I didn't get applied. Fine. I'll use the JD as a big checklist. Oh, they said research skills. Dude, they would also use the word called sketch, balsamic. That's the point. First of all, we should not judge ourselves because of JDs, because that's not how hiring happens. Hiring happens through the people who are trying to hire. Right? Those people, right? They have certain kind of a mindset in terms of what is a match. We kind of do certain kind of a work in the company. We have this kind of a culture. We are aiming for this kind of a product, right? For this kind of product, we need this kind of product thinking, this kind of design thinking. This is I wouldn't even say process. This is the kind of experimentation which we do with the product and design. So someone who has the lens of suiting for this kind of experimentation is whom we would want to hire. Here's how hiring happens, right? Whether they write it in their JD or not, this is the truth, right? Now, the point which you need to get out of this is the word called match. Rejection happened because you are not a match. Rejection did not happen because you are not a good designer. There's a big difference between these two. You are a designer who worked on one kind of a project, yes, right? Who delivered a design impact. Now your work matched with what that particular client wanted, right? Whatever you presented did not match with what this company is trying to look for. It first of all does not mean that you are not a good designer. Let's take an example, right? Let's say you get rejected by a girl. What does it mean? That you are not fit to marry or date anyone else. You are rejected for that particular girl, right? It's just a simple compatibility thing, right? First you need to get there. Now coming to the point that you have to look beyond these particular JDs, the way to understand what really works for a company or not is by going and looking at what their existing designers are doing. What are the kind of products which they have launched? You have to observe how many updates have they launched. Are they very much into releasing a lot of updates? That means they have a capable tech team which can go and launch an update every 2 weeks. Now, if you have a very capable tech team which can launch an update every 2 weeks, do you think you will waste your time into doing extensive textbook research? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Look, why don't you launch something as quickly as possible? After launching it as quickly as possible, go and see whether it's going to work or not. That too, if you're an early stage startup or let's say a recently funded startup, right? Even if you're A, B, C funded startup, you wouldn't waste your time in figuring out what really is going to work by going and doing a lot of pre-research. Rather go build a product, do lots of multiple experimentations on multiple cohorts, get some results and see what is working and move forward. Right? And these kind of companies literally want people like you. They do not want these people who will say, hey, you know what? Hey, please take this particular, we want to do an experimentation. Let's take a quick example, right? Let's say they give you this project here. Hey, Sushank, we are trying to launch this leaderboard feature for this whatever game kind of feature what we have. Let's start working on design. Let us say you come like, oh no, wait. First of all, there is one big document which you'll have to fill. Okay. In that you will have to write down what is a design problem, what is this, all this you have to write. Fine. Until then it's also okay. Fine. No problem. Having clarity in what they want to do is not a big problem. But after that you say, no. For that, first 2 weeks, I will spend my time on secondary research. Next 2 weeks, I will spend my time on doing primary research. After that, I will go and make wireframes. After that, I will go. Dude, if you are a founder, will you ever hire this person?
No. Absolutely not.
Because you are you want to experiment, you have developers sitting over there who can literally build stuff quickly and see whether you want to experiment or not. Right? You are not a very big company. You're a small company. Let us say your product has failed. Right? It's just going to be a bunch of users and some experimentation money which I'm anyway willing to lose. Right? For that, would you want a person who will come buy the book and say, I will only follow this particular big process, or else I will never be a fit? It just doesn't make sense, right? It is going to be negative for you are now becoming a cost for me. Imagine after all these months you will do all this perfect 7-step UX design process and come back to me and give something which you could have given me in 2 days. All you're doing is you're saying with high probability that this might work, right? Which we have no clue about because my company itself is going to be pretty new and I'm really testing markets. And how is that you already know about it? It's not easy. It's not possible, right? So you need to understand that rejection did not happen because you did not follow a standard or a textbook process which everyone is showing in their portfolios. Companies do not want those people. You yourself realized it. With common sense we realized it. Imagine what founders and all those people think, right? what you need to do, what you need to bounce back with, first of all, when this rejection happens is, what is your story? You did not create a proper story that they understand that, hey, this is the kind of a person whom we are thinking about. What you did is valuable. But in your portfolio, if you're just merely using words like wireframes, research, secondary research, final designs, first iteration UI, second iteration UI, if these are the words you are using, they do not want these people. You've already established that you will work by the book, by these terms. What if you change your case study to, let's think about decisions. Let's say your project is talking about very good stories about some of the very, very important decisions you have taken. No fluff, no clutter, nothing. Directly land into some of the important decisions you have taken. Why is it that I have introduced streaks? Let's say you introduce streaks, right? There are 3 possible ways in which people can update their streaks. Why have I given 3 options? Write about that story. In the leaderboard, there are 16 different aspects for people to view and process. This is how I made it easier. So obviously I've made a bunch of expressions. Expression 1, pros and cons. Expression 2, pros and cons. This is what I finally proposed. This is the information which I assumed is not very important. This is what is very important. Basis that I made this particular solution. You have done things like this because a lot of people think, including you, are thinking like that. Like, how do I know whether it works or not? This is my solution. And you are saying, hey, you know what? Until I do research, I don't know whether it is going to work or not. Arey, bro, company doesn't even want it. Company exactly wants this. People who can think, churn a lot of explorations, and say, hey, you know what? For now, with whatever hypothesis I have, with whatever situation I understood from you, I think this is what is going to work. Awesome, let's build it, test it in 2 weeks, let's see if it works or not. When you have done that, what is missing is the story. The story of how is it that you took a very complex situation and tried to solve it and present with your decisions and thought process. Just fuck everything else. Just remove every other thing about all the textbook names, and you did a big project, right? And this is also one big misconception. They want to talk about the entire project. Not required. You don't need the entire project. Let's say I want to talk about how beautiful this park is, right? And I'm like, every tree, I will go to every tree. Look at how beautiful this tree is. Look at how beautiful this tree is. Look at how beautiful this tree is. It just fucking doesn't make sense, isn't it? All you need to show is examples. 3 to 4 important decisions you have taken as a part of the project. Can you talk about it? Just the critical decisions. Can you talk about those stories? Explain them nicely. It is set, bro. So, firstly, rejection is something which is making you go to inaction.
Yes.
After that, you have not done anything. Not applied to any company, not updated your portfolio. There's no story, not discussed with anything. Correct?
True. Yep.
So, rejection is leading to inaction. No. Always when you get rejected, always you go backwards, and it has to lead towards action. And action has to start from what you are, not what your imaginary self wants to be some 20 years later. Because all it will lead to is nothingness. And you're just literally allowing all those people, other people. How many times have you felt that the person who actually got selected is like, अरे ईड केला वच्चिंद्रा, like इसको कैसा मिला? How many times did we actually feel like that, right? The only difference is those people are acting, we are not acting. Those people had a story to tell from whatever they did, and these people are not telling those stories. The reason why I'm into mentoring, into teaching in UX is this is the biggest thing. There are a lot of people who are literally stuck in the thought process that, you know what, you have to do some templated stuff, you have to do, like, industry is expecting something which is very fancy, which is this, when all they actually expect is these stories, right? I don't want to quote why the industry has become like this, but my mission, my aim is very straightforward. I want to bring back people who talk with common sense. I want to bring back people who literally are confident with whatever way in which they think they can design, present to it, and find a match to the kind of companies who are looking for this kind of talent. The sad part is there are a lot of companies who are looking for this kind of a talent, and there are people who are not in that way, because everyone has a templated portfolio, and you have 1,000 applications, 1,000 templated portfolios, 1,000 rejections. You don't even have one person whom you can talk to. right? So I hope this message lands strong, and I hope
I love
you'll bounce back. Yes.
Yep.
Today, update portfolio means what? Stories.
Stories. Exactly.
You don't have to do anything else. 3 stories. Just 3 stories of important decisions you have taken. Put them there and let's talk. You also write down 3 stories of whatever you have done from common sense, whatever genuinely you have done. Cut all the fluff, remove all the jargon, write about it and put there, and look at the amount of appreciation you will start getting from people who actually matter. See you then. Woo.